Good afternoon, this is Xavier from Elliott Trading. Here at Elliott Trading, we're checking everything that happened in the market today. I have my broker here. Um, we really like trading options here. There's a tremendous amount of volatility in the market today, and we want to essentially show what's going to happen tomorrow and do our forecast. Forecast will not be done on Friday because it's too crazy what happens if we check the news here. Very a lot of news happen during the weekend, and we don't know exactly what's going to happen. Therefore, today I decided never to give predictions in the market. What makes us different than other services is that we're not trying to tell you to um, have this amazing method in which you will make X amount of money. We just tell you how it is. We have no idea what's going to happen Monday. Even with the best technical indicators, it's something that ideally I don't put my trades until Monday morning until I see what happened in the pre-market. What I do is I look at the futures and I really enjoy watching Bloomberg. Uh, and I can do forecasts when the market opens, and we're going to show you how. What makes us different is that we're not trying to have a perfect method. We're combining fundamentals with technicals. I will absolutely fail trading every single time if I just read news. Um, if I just use technical indicators, I believe that's a method to disaster if you just follow arrows. So please don't follow arrows. Please don't follow just news. Don't trade with your gut. Have a strategy.
I
Have
would
a
imagine something
plan,
that I think most sales organizations need the capability of
and
in their sales team.
make sure you have good software. Software is important. Here we're checking what happened with the SPY. The SPY is being showing a lot of dojis, which we will show you. Right now it seems like the SPY is pretty awesome and it's just growing up, but I will show you it's not. Here, if you use the line indicator, this is not a good indicator. This is a very basic indicator that's pretty much showing you um, a very rough line, which we don't necessarily like to use. But I have a specific workspace that I like using, in which I have essentially the main indexes. So how we start trading every day, we start looking at what's happening in Europe, what's happening in Asia. Before the market opens in America, we need to check what's happening with Asia. So as we can see right now, it is negative. And I suspect tomorrow is going to be a doji day, but what we're trying to show you is exactly with dollars and cents what's going to happen tomorrow. So these are our first indicators. It's a bear market, and especially today there's also been some conversation that Donald Trump is in conversation with China, and they haven't agreed on the trade war yet. They're pretty close, and that's the problem, that they say they're pretty close. They said that a month ago. uh, the last on that is that they just haven't figured out a way how to enforce it, right? So we saw what happened with Trump and president of North Korea, where we thought everything was going to be pretty much a done deal, and it wasn't. So who's going to enforce it? We don't know. So I think that's why it's going down. We can see in the last 2 days it's been growing. It's been growing, and we had this massive um, jump during pre-market hours. It happened in Europe. You see this massive jump. It happened on Tuesday. We're doing a lot of iron condors right now. So what's happening essentially in the market is that we see very little movements. Movements are very, very, very little. So right now we're going to use a lot of iron condors. I think that'll be the best strategy for now. I still need to get better at getting more creative. When you short options, it's really risky. You're risking a lot of money. You should absolutely never risk money that you cannot afford to lose. And by the way, uh, I'm not responsible for money that you can lose in the stock market. Never trade without stops. Never trade with money that you cannot afford to lose. You can absolutely get wiped out This is a very risky business. So know your risk, know your limits. I'm going to show you how. So here are the news from the main US companies right now. So there's not a lot of things going on. As you can see, this is one of those days that reading news it's kind of difficult because there's not a lot of news out there. Lyft came up with their IPO. It was a disaster. I'm going to show you how I'm losing money with Lyft. I'm down $100 with it. So, but I'm happy because I was really looking forward to buying 100 shares. So this is one of those days that there's not a lot of news. So we cannot just look at the events and figure out what's going to happen. Now Friday there's the economic indicators. These are the main economic indicators that I have here. Right now it's Wednesday, so tomorrow, Thursday, April 4th, we have the jobless claims, which I suspect this is going to be higher, but we don't know. The prior was 211. So here we can see that there's more people asking for unemployment than we thought, but the difference is pretty small. And the impact on the market is pretty high. So tomorrow could be a bear market, and this would be pre-market. So I'm in California, so I suppose this is going to be at least the same. I really doubt it's going to be lower than 211K. So I suspect tomorrow is going to be either a doji day or a bear day. So it's extremely important that we know. I don't think these things are important. Unemployment rate, we can see it's pretty even. So I don't think there's going to be a big surprise. The minimum is minimum 3.7, max 4.0. Average earning year over year, employment change. So as we can see tomorrow, pretty much we're going to look at this guy here, jobless claims, but you don't have to do anything. When the market opens, you will already know if this was a good report or a bad report. So anyway, that's how I usually start my day. Here's the performance of today. So revenue earnings is $226 and 21 cents. We're doing options on Amazon. So a little bit about me. I'm a computer programmer. I absolutely love trade markets. I love everything about it. As you can see, I believe if you're well prepared, you can have a better you can have an advantage over people that just trade out of gut. I do use a lot of software. I believe every software is different. I enjoy using a lot of software actually, and I enjoy programming a lot of my own indicators. So here, what we're going to this one's called TC2000. So this is extremely good because it tells you essentially how stupid this risk is, this trade is. So essentially here I'm getting paid $16, which is a pretty bad trade, but I can lose 135. So I can lose almost 10 times my money. But the reason I like this software is because it tells me very clearly how much I can lose. So what we're doing, for example, for this guy here, we're loading Cisco. So by loading Cisco, let me see where it is. Cisco. Okay, so if we load Cisco, I like trading, knowing what's happening every 2 minutes. I think every minute is too crazy, unless you're day trading, which I'm not day trading right now. And then I like knowing what's happening here. So what I do here just to protect myself is make sure I draw what's called array. So I design it and I draw it. And with TradingView, this is really useful because it will send me an alert. So for example, I can trigger an alert if I'm going to lose money with Cisco. So here I have my alarms. Right, so I don't have an alarm on Cisco, so we're going to create one. So if Cisco every 2 minutes, this option expires on Friday. So Friday, April 5th, 2 days from now, and the US market closes at 11. Now, why do I do 1 and 15? Because actually you can get assigned options even 15 minutes after the bell closes. I've called my stockbroker, I've asked them why. Nobody has any idea why. It's just what it is. You can call it a business, call it a whatever it is. When the casino closed, they have 15 more minutes to assign you 100 shares. That can be very costly. So what I'm putting here is the option close. There you go. So this will send me notification on my cell phone. It will also send me an email. 1 per bar close, that means every 2 minutes, as we see it here. And it's essentially telling me get rid of this deal. Now, this is how I believe Elliott Trading is different than, this is why I like Elliott Trading so much. So at Elliott Trading, we use the principle of having peak and throws. So here we can see how many peaks we've had, how many throws we have. And these lines here are indicators that I'm programming. And it will show us the forecast for tomorrow. So tomorrow we expect, today Cisco closed at $55.63, and tomorrow it should close around $55.71. Now it's extremely important to know that we have no idea where it's going to close. So please don't take this number as an actual forecast. This is just like a number that it should be close to here. It could be here, it could be a little higher, it could be a little lower, it could go as low as 55.35, it could go as high as 56.08, but we're expecting Cisco to close around here, right? And so we might expect a gigantic doji from Cisco tomorrow, but as you can see, the probabilities are pretty low, so that's why I'm still in this trade. So we're going to analyze how can we analyze the probabilities of Cisco. So essentially what we're going to do is we're going to pretend we're buying options right now. So Cisco, I have a contract here for so this is what's called a put spread. So we're selling one put that expires Friday for $54.05, which is exactly what we added here, right? So what this means is if the stock goes down lower than $54.05, it could be $54.49. Essentially, there's a risk of you getting assigned. It means you have an obligation to buy 100 shares of Cisco, and why would you want to buy something that suddenly falls like crazy? That's a pretty bad deal. So essentially what I've learned through trading in options is that you never ever want to get assigned. I've been assigned 100 shares of Amazon. It's absolutely not fun. You don't enjoy your weekend, you don't enjoy your girlfriend, you don't enjoy your trip, you don't enjoy anything. You're thinking how much money I'm gonna lose Monday morning from 1 a.m. until 6:30 a.m. What's gonna happen in the stock market? What if Amazon drops 20 points? It's absolutely the worst thing you'll ever have to do in the stock market. Options are it's a very risky business. You can lose a lot of money because you don't play in the pre-market or in the aftermarket hours. So that's why my rule of thumb is as soon as these alarm triggers, I'm just out. I don't even think about it. I want to automate it. But anyway, right now what I wanted to show you is what are the Greeks. So for 54.50 on Cisco, 54.50, we have right now we would get paid $7, but that's not the point. The point is we want to analyze what delta is, and I hope somebody explained me this at the beginning. Delta is essentially how much this price is going to move if it goes up or down $1. So when I first learned about delta, I didn't understand a thing, but the way you can also look at it, it could be an indicator of how likely it is that this would fall below $54.05 by expiration, which is Friday, April 5th at 1 p.m. Not 1:15 p.m., but 1 p.m. You can get a sign 15 minutes later, but this is like upon expiration. So there's a 17% chance that I'll get a sign. So in order to do this, what we do is we use the indicator, the Elliott indicator, and this is an indicator that I'm still programming on Metastock. So this is an add-on is going to be released this year, and with this add-on, what we can do is we can search the market for Cisco. And then this is we're going to wait for it to load. And you can see that this indicator is working with TradingView and it's also working with Metastock. So essentially what this indicator is showing us, the difference about this indicator on TradingView, it's actually showing the forecast for tomorrow. On Metastock is showing the forecast for yesterday, but I have to reprogram that so it's consistent. And then we can also load the expert advisor here just to see what is Mr. Elliott telling us. I think Mr. Elliott is going to inform us that tomorrow is going to be a bull day for Cisco. So yeah, if we go to the expert advisor, we know that Cisco's been performing great, 31.51% in the last 3 months, which is pretty much the last year, 7.91% in the last month, 4.58% in the last week, and 0.61% in the last day, which is this number here, 0.61%. So right now the probability of getting a sign, it's 17%, right? That's what the broker is telling us. And Elliott forecast is showing us, so if I have to guess, I suspect is going, that's why I like having this other chart, because this one shows me, so what we know what happened in the after hours, it keeps growing. So from 55.63, it's closing on 55.78. There was a pretty big gap yesterday. I have no idea why. And this is one of the mysteries for me that I would love to learn. If you know, please tell me why. Why it jumped so much from 1 minute to another. It's just either by magic or something. If there's no volume from 4 p.m. to 1 a.m., why would it jump? So that's one of the things that is risky about options. It could jump. If it jumps 20 points on Amazon, pretty much you're fried. But anyway, we don't know exactly what's doing. So this indicator that I created, it behaves very different on intraday than on, as you can see, it's the same indicator, but it behaves very different from intraday to daily. And the reason why is because when you're trading, day trading, you don't want one arrow up and then one arrow down. This is similar to the Rob Booker indicators. Essentially what's happening here is that when you're day trading, you're trading, making a lot of decisions. You can get in here at 7:22 a.m. California time, and you can get out at 1 hour and 30 minutes later. Like this could be a good trade from $55 to 55.63. If you multiply that by 100, that's already a good amount of money in 1 hour and 30 minutes. So this indicator, let's say if you trade 100 stocks, and then you have, this could also be pretty good run in the morning. So these indicators are designed specifically to allow you to day trade, and that's why a program is like that, because when you day trade, you don't have the same amount of rules that when you're day trading. So let's suppose you make $68 here on this run. As soon as you stop seeing these indicators, it means that the momentum is gone. I do not trade on necessarily with a moving average. I think it's a lagging indicator. This is immediate price action, and that's why this indicator was programmed like that. This is called the Elliott zigzag, and you see it had very few reds, and then majority of green dots. And as we can see here in the volume, in the volume profile, there's a lot of action here. So I think that's why I consolidated here. So if I would be day trading, I would get here. You know, as soon as I see there's a throw, and I will start selling probably around here, because there's just way too much consolidation here. Like, I wouldn't like to be in this trade after here. And then, you know, you would save all this mess here. It's trying to go up a little later, but it was one of those days where it started pretty aggressively and then it went down. And this is what, it's almost a doji. We can see it here. It's still not a doji, but it's still a good day. So what we expect for tomorrow, the Elliott oscillator is bullish, the forecast is bullish. I'm going to remove this because I don't necessarily think the RSI is that important for this here. And these are numbers that we're trying to look. Where is the option high and the option low? So it says 56.82 and 54.61. So in this example, we have 54.5. So essentially what this is telling us, the worst case scenario, it shouldn't go lower than this. And I still want to do this in another way, because I believe in a graphical way it's a lot better. Here it will show us here. So what I would do tomorrow is, if Cisco goes lower than 55.35, for some reason it starts dropping to here, it'll start displaying in real time how low will it get on Friday. So I think I'm gonna make money on this trade. This is again just an example of many examples. But anyway, we're running a little bit short on time, so we're going to do the prediction as I offered. We will always do predictions. So this is what happened with the SPY. As you can see, what happened is not good. It's showing that the market is a little bit extremely unstable. It gapped a horrendous amount, you know, at 1 a.m. And then with E-Trade, you can only start trading at 4 a.m. So as we can see at 4, that's when we have a little bit of a volume increase. And then it started negative in the morning, and then it started going positive again. But I don't believe this was a good run. It was only just some, the market has been acting very volatile in the last few days. So what happened here was that it went down almost to the point of yesterday. So I wouldn't say this is necessarily like a bull day. If anything, it's a bear day. We can see the swing. So we can, I think tomorrow we can expect either a doji day, which is a lot of undecisive, like what experts call a pancake, or I don't think there's a lot of momentum here. And this is one of the things that I really want to approach. I've done trading, I've used every single indicator in the market, like all of them, every single system, and the reason why I don't have moving averages is because I want my eyes to be trained to just what's happening with peaks and throws. I think that's the best way to trade. I think that's absolutely the most efficient way to trade, and in subsequent videos I'm going to explain exactly why. With the we're going to do backtest and Metastock and show how we use our system and what is this system the best. If you just look at these peaks and throws that it's building, you can see that it was started very aggressive, and then it started doing like small peaks, small throws, but then started doing more throws and peaks, and that's the reason why we believe right now there's not a lot of momentum, there's not a lot of activity. But anyway, here's prediction for tomorrow in case you guys are wondering. Tomorrow, everything is pointing that it's going to be a bear day. And this is the most important thing when you trade. You have to learn where the market is going. I wouldn't go long tomorrow. I wouldn't, unless there's a big gap. Let's say tomorrow the market starts at 286 for at 6 a.m. 6:30 a.m. Let's say the market starts and it gaps a lot during the pre-day. I would still be cautious. Like I don't believe there's enough energy to reach the high of yesterday. I believe that's pretty much impossible. The high from yesterday was 287 and 76 cents. So just to give you an example, we want to know what is the exact or the approximate probability. 287.76. If we were to trade options on the SPY, yeah, so this is a close number, 288, right? 287.76. So we will round up 288. The probability here is 33%, and this is by Friday. So I would say the probability of the SPY reaching yesterday's high is going to be close to 16-17%. So that's our prediction for tomorrow. I believe it's going to, if you see there's a white long candle here, there's a doji, and this was supposed to be a push, but it didn't. It jumped too much. It went up a lot. It went down way too much, and it barely recovered. So that's the prediction for tomorrow. The SPY would close between these ranges, 287.09 and 285.08. So let's see what happens tomorrow. Tomorrow I'm gonna upload another video, and then I'm gonna give final predictions for this Friday. Thank you so much. Hope to see you guys tomorrow.